Good morning to you, St. Lucia. Wake up, and especially any animal lovers, pet owners. This is definitely a segment for you. We have plenty friends with us here today. And let me introduce, if you didn't know about them, this is Help Paws, and they're doing some major moves here in St. Lucia. So let me welcome Charlene and Kate to the set. Well, we're outdoors today. How are you today, Charlene?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. And how are you today, Kate?
Really good, thank you.
Super. So we first start off, because I'm sure persons watching who may not know are asking, what is Help Pause? What I know it stands for something as well. So let's enlighten St. Lucia today.
Yeah, so HELPA stands for Help Animal Welfare St. Lucia. It's a foster-based organization based in the South in Soufriere. We rescue dogs and cats from the street, take them in, rehabilitate them, have them spayed and neutered, vaccinate, and rehome them. And then we also, another component is we work with Taj Weeks and his organization called TOCO, where we run spay and neuter clinics to kind of reduce the overpopulation of dogs and cats on the island.
And of course, we can see we have two new friends recently rescued. So just tell us about that.
Yeah, so we actually were driving home last night and we came across these 4 puppies. So we rescued them. You can see, they have mange and a couple wounds around the head. They have fleas and ticks. They have worms. So we brought them to kind of show people, if you have your animals spayed and neutered, you won't have this problem. Yeah, and it is a problem because it's not only a problem for people, but it's a problem for them. They're suffering, and we don't want our dogs looking like this. So that's basically where they came from.
You see, and they are so camera ready, but I mean, they're just too cute. And just imagine if you didn't find them, it would be a couple more days of suffering and fending for themselves. And Kate, just tell us a little bit about what you do with Help Paws.
So I'm actually the foster adoption manager. So Charlene's wonderful, and she kind of gives us as much details as she can about each dog, and we interview families to make sure that they're going to provide loving homes for them as well as take care of their needs medically. That's really important. Dogs are not just something that's cheap to have. They are a family member too. So. We definitely make sure that we can find them good homes that are going to provide all that for them.
Well, I'm happy to know as well that you all look for, families for them as well, which is something major, which gives them an opportunity to really just have a good life.
Yeah.
And this is another reason why I had to have you all here. I stumbled across you guys over the weekend on social media, and I was like, wait, I know of SLAPS, we've done stuff to help, and I'm like, it's all one and the same cause, and it's about helping the animals, and we love animals here at DBS too, especially my boss, Linda. So good morning. Thank you for helping us put this together.
Yes.
So I saw that there's a clinic coming up, and
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah, so we do high volume spay and neuter clinics, which is happening this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, October 6th and 7th. And then we have a break on Monday, and we'll resume on Tuesday the 9th and Wednesday the 10th. So starting at 8:30 a.m., you can bring your pets in. It's for low income families who wouldn't be able to afford the surgery. And then our goal is to do about 400 in 4 days. We've done that in the past, so we're just trying to, reduce the population of animals on the island so we can end the suffering of dogs and cats.
Nice. And let me ask you, when exactly did you guys get established down here? How long has it been?
Since 2014. So we've been running these since 2015 with Taj Weeks and his organization. And to date, we've done, a big number of animals, and we are seeing less animals on the street, but there's still obviously more because one animal can reproduce thousands of puppies, and we don't want them to suffer. So
Well, again, this is why St. Lucia, we're letting you know it's happening this weekend. So again, if you're not able to afford it, this is the opportunity to come out. And what is the location for the clinics?
yeah, it's at the Old Groseilliers police station, so we'll be first come first serve. We'll also be out trying to catch strays in the area, so the strays will have priority over other people. And it's from 8:30, so bring your dogs and your cats. I will note that if you are bringing a cat, and you don't have a carrier, try to bring it in a tall laundry basket, simply because we don't want people bringing them in bags or boxes. It gets hot, and we don't want any cats escaping. All right.
That sounds like a good plan. And how can people contact you all and, of course, follow you guys so they can be part of the movement?
Yeah, so you can follow us on our website. There's links to our social media, which is www.helppause.com, or you can contact us 727-7310.
So, St. Lucia, in a nutshell, now you are in the know, you're informed. It's happening this weekend. So, it's the Spay and Neuter Clinic. So, come out. Let's try and fight this cause. And, of course, look at these two cuties. Just, I'm so happy that they were found. But just imagine there's hundreds or thousands, even more little puppies all over. So, let us try and do our part. And, animals are part of our family. It's part of our lives. So, let us show some love. I think sometimes we think it's Caribbean mentality. Oh, okay, it's not, but we have to do something about it. Yeah. So let's keep the island just as lovely and keep our animals healthy and happy. Yeah. And we look forward to seeing you. So make sure you come out. It's first come, first serve. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Welcome back, family, and a special good morning to you. Thank you again for joining us, and we're going to keep things moving right along. Now, it is a great moment for St. Lucian history because a community-based adaptation program was run, and out of that birthed something brilliant by a son of the soil. We have a representative here. I'm not going to give you too many details, but it has to do with a solar-powered desalinating machine. It's the second generation, but there's a particular part in that, and that is where the St. Lucian history will be made. So sit back, relax, get ready, because this one is going to be interesting.
Giles Romulus, the National Coordinator for the Global Environment and Facility Small Grants Program, United Nations Development Program. That goes back about 4 years. We were introducing a new methodology to determine the resilience of communities in St. Lucia, and we selected Labrie for the introduction of the new methodology. We call it community-based adaptation. I remember it very vividly. It was a Saturday afternoon, very hot like now. And during that meeting, Mr. Noel came up with the possible solution, he says, to address acute water shortages in his community. And at that meeting, he suggested desalination. We challenged him because we knew how expensive desalination was, and the fact that if you didn't take care of the brine, you would be adversely impacting the environment. So we asked him to go back to his organization and determine whether or not they would like to undertake the project. But when he came back to us, we also asked him to tell us how he's going to respond to 3 questions. 1, how will the desalinator be powered? Because electricity is very expensive in St. Lucia. 2, how will the brine be neutralized? If he can answer those 2 questions, we would consider this project. He came back 2 weeks, and apparently through the support of Rudy John, the famous Rudy John from Labrie, he received total support, and he was able to solve the power issue, but not the brine issue. But with further discussions, we decided to take a risk. So we took a risk with him to go and design the process. We first gave them what is called a planning grant of about $2,600 US to go and design the desalinator and to come back to us with a design, the electricals, etc., and also the cost benefit of the entire project. They came back about 3-4 months later. I brought it to the board, and the board agreed to go the next step, which is the manufacture, the fabrication of the system. And the brine issue had still not been solved, but we were taking another risk again, the next step. And it was during the full grant and the design and implementation, Carlos tried several different methods to neutralize the brine, and he finally came up with one that worked. And I remember him calling us and saying, come down, And we went down to Labrie, and when we saw the results, when we tested the salinity of the brine just after the production of the water, and the brine after it went through the process he had initiated, we realized that we had a project that worked. But we were still not satisfied, so we asked him to get CAFA, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, to be an independent third adjudicator in a sense, using pure natural sciences to determine the quality of the water. And CAFA came down, did all the samplings, went back to the laboratory, and we got a final report. And it was the final report that gave us that wow moment. Because what CAFA was saying was not only that the water was of top quality, but any nuisance in the water, any bacteria of any kind that was in the water, was killed by the reverse osmosis system that he had initiated. So we were very pleased then that the project had worked. We took a risk, but it worked. And the first generation produced something like 400 gallons a day. And now with the second generation, it's up to 1,000 gallons. And that second generation was catalyzed by a request from the Republic of Nauru in the Pacific. For our global UN system, there was a request for a desalinator of reasonable cost. So we asked him to submit a proposal, and he won it. And that was the impetus for the design of the second generation. And so here you have it. Second generation, 1,000 gallons, solar-driven, brine neutralizing mobile desalinator from the community of Labrie. The first of its kind, and leaving St. Lucia halfway around the world to the Republic of Nauru. A fit and accomplishment, a historic day for St. Lucia, for all the organizations that were involved, OSAID, the United Nations Systems, the Global Environmental Facility, and myself personally as a St. Lucian. Very elated.
Special good morning to all of our friends and family down in Labrie, and of course, very special good morning to our creator, our systems engineer, and we're going to try our best to find him, and we're going to have him on the show. But this is definitely something praiseworthy. This is something amazing. This is something life-changing, and again, it's the only one of its kind, this particular part created. So this definitely is another thing to put St. Lucia on the map. Don't go anywhere. We'll still be bringing you more.